And then you have fugitive emissions like methane emissions from oil facilities, 5.7 are agricultural, and 4.7 are industry. Who are the major players? China, 35% of the whole carbon market is originated from China. 25% from India. Pakistan is not in this list, unfortunately, because of the fact that we, A, started very late in this, and secondly, our industrialized base is not very big when it comes to these countries. I'll come to this slide later. How can companies in Pakistan monetize this? We have a situation where you have a large number of industries in Pakistan that can actually claim carbon credits. I'm just jumping forward to show you a slide, and then I can come back to this. Let's take the example of some projects so that I can give you a realistic understanding of it. And then we'll come back to how to make projects financially viable. A wind project, for instance, can claim carbon emission reductions because if you don't set up the wind power plant, you would set up any other thermal power plant, which would consume gas or furnace oil or diesel or some other fossil fuel or coal. And the wind power plant would claim that if I was not going to set this plant up, somebody else would set it up based on one of these fossil fuels, and you could get carbon credits out of it. Similarly, hydropower, bagasse to power, biomass to waste, biomass and waste to energy, landfill gas, animal waste to energy projects. But in a financial, let's say in financial terminology, you have to convince the United Nations that the project is not financially viable without carbon credits, which is where this whole scheme and its applicability to the Institute of Chartered Accountants comes into play. Your clients come to you often with these project ideas that they would like to get into some energy project or some project which needs financing, and hence they need to build a feasibility study for it. You must advise them that they must consider the carbon impact on these projects immediately at the feasibility stage. Because oftentimes hota hai that clients come to us with a feasibility study which says this project is very profitable, we have a 35% IRR, just so that they can get the project financed. If you take a feasibility like that to the United Nations, they will not give that project carbon credits. The projects that can receive carbon credits are projects which are environmentally friendly, but are financially not viable. So to give you an example, wind ke case ke andar you would add about 1 से 1.3% to the IRR of a wind power plant project. In a hydropower project, you could add about 1 to 2.5%. If you look at some other projects like methane reduction in landfill gas or wastewater treatment, you could even add up to 75% to the IRR because methane is a far more destructive gas than CO2. Renewable energy projects ke andar you could sometimes add even up to 20% if you have a methane element attached to it. What are the different project types? This is a project example of a wind power plant in China. 15 megawatt wind power plant gets about 30,000 carbon credits per year, which in euro terms is about 240,000 euros per year for a period of 21 years. So this project, irrespective of what its income from its tariff is going to get 240,000 euros per year from carbon credits. So जब भी अपनी feasibility बनाएंगे, the investor can include this 240,000 euro per year income as part of their payback calculation to make it financially more viable. And that's the whole scheme, to convince people who previously felt it was not in their benefit to set up a project like that, to convince them to do it. This project, for instance, had a total investment of 22 million euros. Its annual revenues from power sale were 4.5 million euros, and its annual revenues from CERs were 300,000 euros. Annual maintenance cost, dal dol ke, you had a 14.5% IRR without carbon credits. And the investor said, "Main to ye nahi project lagaunga because 14.5% is frankly too low for me." With carbon credits added to it, the IRR rose to 18.5%, so 4% bump. And at that point, they felt, yes, it is financially lucrative enough for us to do it. This is the key thing for all of you gentlemen to understand, because you can play a very vital role in convincing your clients. We have clients जिन्होंने अपने हाथों से अपने projects खराब किए हुए हैं. There are projects which could have received carbon credits, but they have put so much documentation behind the fact that the project is very lucrative without credits that now they can't undo it. They've given press statements. It's been in the news. How can you go back on something like that? In government clients, I won't name any, but they have written PC1 documents which claim 257% IRR, which is rubbish. I mean, just to show to potential lenders that the project was attractive. Now you can't go back and reverse all of that. And these documents get made by financial experts, and I'm sure they seek your guidance and guidance of other people who are ICAP members. This is another project, biomass project, 10 megawatts. I think it's in Brazil. Total project cost was 14 million. Its annual revenues from CER were 480,000. Similarly, इसके अंदर भी 3 से 4% IRR boost आया होगा. But I want to show you some Pakistani examples. This is the Pakistani cement sector. A lot of you will be working for these clients. The Pakistani cement sector is very aggressively setting up waste heat recovery projects, which are recovering waste heat from their clinker cooler and their kiln. 6 of these projects are our clients. We're helping them get carbon credits, and each of them is getting about 500,000 to 700,000 euros per year for these waste heat recovery projects, which cost them about 20-25 million euros to set up. लेकिन अब उसके अंदर से वो, let's say, 4 से 5 million euro 10 साल में they can recover from the carbon credit element of it. Of course, they have other income streams to follow as well. But this is the example of an industry which did it properly. Right from the first day when they actually created the documentation, they showed that the project was not financially viable, and you needed to include this income in order to make it. Other project examples, such as replacing limestone with other material in the cement sector, using alternative fuels. Pakistan has, the cement sector relies almost 100% on coal, and you have large amounts of agricultural waste which goes to, people just burn it in the fields. The cement sector is taking a lead in sourcing this material from agricultural farmlands and to substitute rice husk, corn cob, cotton stalk, wheat straw, things like these for coal. And the projects are expensive. $10-15 million is the equipment cost of setting up a refuse-derived fuel plant. But they would make about $1 million a year from the carbon credit element of it. Similarly, our clients in the sugar sector, about 80 plus sugar mills in Pakistan, you could also recommend this to them that if they were to replace their equipment, make investments in more modern equipment like high pressure boilers, they could get more electricity out of this, which they could sell to the grid, but they could also get about $500,000 of income every year from carbon credits by selling clean electricity. हमारे 2 clients हैं, which I'll show you in the next slide, Almoy sugar mills and Shakarganj sugar mills, who are selling 12 and 8 megawatts respectively from bagasse and biogas electricity, and earning carbon credits on it as well. This is another example of the oil and gas sector, if somebody is interested in it. Otherwise, these are 4 of our clients which are earning carbon credits right now. ICI Polyester, a fantastic example of a company which did it the right way. Right from the start, we were involved with them in creating the financial feasibility. We were able to put it together very cleanly to show exactly that the project was not financially viable. It had a very marginal IRR. Without financial cost included in the IRR calculation, we were able to show that the IRR was below Pakistan's commercial lending rate, which you can use as a benchmark for like a hurdle rate you could use. And we use that as the base IRR plus this 160,000 euros added every year to create the additional IRR to show with carbon credits what is the income. And that's what made the project financially viable. These 4 projects have been approved by the United Nations. These guys are making money from carbon credits. This is no longer a hypothetical idea of a project which is 10 years into the future. These are actual commissioned projects which are earning money every year to this estimate given on the right side. Daud Hercules, for instance, is already registered and it's earning about 300,000 euros per year from its internal power generation system, which is an improvement on the previous one. Similarly, let me just take you through very quickly the project ideas. Almoy's has a bagasse-based high-pressure cogeneration system using more energy-efficient equipment, 65 bar boilers instead of 23 bar boilers. Shakarganj is the first company to do biogas power generation in Pakistan from its distillery waste.